The city was busy that morning. People walked on the sidewalks, cars moved slowly in traffic, and the sun shone through the tall buildings. Among the crowd, there was a black woman named Maya. She walked with calm confidence, her eyes steady and clear. Maya had a strong presence, but she did not need to shout or demand attention. People noticed her quietly, some with respect, others just out of habit. Maya was dressed in simple clothes, but she carried herself like someone important. She was used to being careful in public, but today she felt good. She had an important meeting in the afternoon. She was thinking about the tasks ahead, but her mind was calm and focused. Suddenly, 2 police officers stepped in front of her. They stopped her path without warning. Maya was surprised but did not panic. She stopped and looked at the officers. They looked serious, their eyes sharp and cold. "Excuse me, ma'am," one officer said, his voice firm but polite. "We need to ask you some questions?" Maya nodded slowly. "Okay, what is this about?" The other officer looked at her from head to toe, his face unreadable. "We got reports about suspicious activity in this area. We want to make sure everything is not—" "Fine." Maya stayed calm. She knew these kinds of stops happened often, especially to people who looked like her. But she also knew she had rights, and she was not afraid to use them if needed. "Sure, I understand," Maya said quietly. "How can I help you?" The first officer asked her for her ID. Maya reached into her bag and pulled out her identification. She handed it to him without hesitation. As the officer looked at her ID, the other one kept watching her carefully. Maya felt the tension in the air. It was like the officers did not fully trust her, even though she was calm and cooperative. "Where are you headed?" first officer asked. "To a meeting," Maya replied. "I have important work to do." The officers exchanged a quick glance. The first officer returned her ID and said, "All right, but stay nearby for a moment. Just want to ask a few more questions." Maya nodded but felt a little annoyed. She knew this was not about her actions, but something deeper. It was about the color of her skin. She looked around. A few people had stopped to watch the scene. Some whispered to each other, others just stared. Maya noticed the curious eyes, but did not let them distract her. The officers continued their questions, asking where she lived, what she did for a living, and if she had any weapons or dangerous items. Maya answered every question honestly and clearly. As the conversation went on, Maya realized the officers were not really interested in facts. They were looking for a reason to keep her there longer or make her feel uncomfortable. Their tone grew colder, their words sharper. Maya kept her voice steady. She did not want to argue or cause trouble, but inside, she felt the weight of unfairness pressing down on her. She remembered stories from friends who had been stopped many times and treated badly for no good reason. Maya had faced similar moments before, but always stayed strong. Suddenly, one officer asked, "Have you been involved in any trouble recently? Anything we should know about?" Maya shook her head. "No, I have not. I follow the law like everyone else." The officers seemed to doubt her words. They looked at her as if she was hiding something. Maya felt her heart beat faster, but she controlled her breath. She knew she could not let fear take over. This was a test of patience and courage. "Is there a problem here?" Maya asked politely. "I am just trying to go about my day." The first officer hesitated, then said, "We're just doing our job, you understand, right?" Maya nodded slowly. "Yes, I understand. But I would like to be treated with respect, please." The officers looked uncomfortable. They were not used to being challenged calmly. The people watching the scene also noticed Maya's quiet strength. After a few more questions, the officers finally said, "Okay, you're free to go. Have a good day." Maya thanked them and started to walk away. But as she moved, she felt a mix of relief and frustration. She knew this was not the end. It was only the beginning of a larger challenge. As she disappeared into the crowd, Maya's mind was clear. She was not just any woman. She was a leader, a protector, someone who had fought hard to get where she was. She knew that sometimes people judged her before they knew her, but she was ready to show them the truth. She had a mission, and no one's ignorance could stop her. The city continued its busy rhythm, but Maya carried a quiet power inside her. She walked tall, ready to face whatever came next. After the tense encounter with the police officers, Maya moved through the busy city streets with a steady pace. Those people did not know her real story. To the outside world, she looked like a regular woman going about her day. But behind her calm face was a remarkable truth that few could imagine. Maya was the leader of the world's most dangerous and elite task force. This team was known for handling the toughest missions in many countries. They dealt with threats that could change the safety of millions of people. Governments trusted Maya and her team because they were skilled, brave, and smart. The task force was not just any group of officers. It included experts from many fields: detectives, technology specialists, negotiators, and more. They worked together to stop dangerous criminals, prevent attacks, and protect innocent lives. Maya had built this team with care and strong leadership. Her journey to this position was not easy. Maya grew up in a neighborhood where few people dreamed of big success. She faced many challenges, including unfair treatment because of her skin color and her gender. But Maya had a strong spirit. She believed in justice and worked hard to prove herself. From a young age, Maya wanted to make a difference. She studied law, worked in community programs, and joined the police force. She faced obstacles and doubters, but she never gave up. Her determination and talent helped her rise through the ranks. Maya's leadership style was different. She listened to her team, respected their ideas, and cared deeply about fairness. She made sure everyone felt valued, no matter their background. This approach made her team strong and united. As Maya walked, she thought about a recent mission. Her team had stopped a serious threat to a city. Success was thanks to teamwork and trust. Maya was proud, but she knew the work never ended. She also thought about the police officers who had stopped her earlier. They did not know who she was or the work she did. They saw only a black woman on the street. Maya understood this was a problem in many places, where prejudice affected how people were treated. Maya believed change was possible. She worked not only to fight crime, but also to build better understanding between communities and law enforcement. She hoped one day no one would be judged by color or appearance. At the same time, Maya kept her true identity private and public. She knew revealing too much could create risks for her and her team, so she kept her work separate from her everyday life. She arrived at her office, a secure building with advanced technology and trained security. Inside, her team was already preparing for the next mission. They welcomed Maya with respect and a sense of family. Maya greeted each member warmly. She valued their dedication and the many hours they spent away from home to keep others safe. Her presence gave the team confidence and hope. She reviewed reports, checked details, and gave clear instructions. Her mind worked fast, always thinking several steps ahead. Maya knew every decision could affect many lives. Later, Maya held a meeting with her closest advisors. They discussed new intelligence about possible threats. The team planned carefully to act quickly and effectively. Maya's leadership shone in these moments. She encouraged open discussion, listened to all voices, and made final decisions with wisdom. Despite the pressure, Maya remained calm. Her experience taught her that clear thinking and teamwork were the keys to success. Outside the office, the city went on. People walked, worked, and lived their daily lives. Unaware of the hidden battles being fought to protect them, Maya understood this well. She accepted the quiet role she played. She was proud to serve, even if many would never know her name or face. As the day ended, Maya left the building. She felt the weight of responsibility, but also a deep sense of purpose. She looked up at the sky, thinking about the future. Maya was ready to face any challenge, knowing she had the strength and the team to succeed. The next day, Maya found herself facing a new challenge. The police officers who had stopped her the day before had not forgotten the encounter. They felt uneasy because they had been unable to control the situation as they usually did.
Out there.
Pride was hurt, and they wanted to prove they were in charge, but Maya was ready for whatever came next. She knew the officers were acting on old habits and ideas that did not fit with the world she worked to build. She stayed calm, knowing she had the power and knowledge to handle the situation. The officers began to follow her discreetly. They did not realize how careful and skilled Maya was. She noticed their presence but kept moving as if nothing was wrong. Maya knew how to stay one step ahead. At the same time, she sent a quiet message to her task force. The team was trained to watch over her safety and to support her in any trouble. They knew how important her role was and how sometimes danger could come from unexpected places. Maya understood the importance of law and order, but she also knew that not all who wore a uniform acted fairly. Some held old beliefs that hurt others, especially people who looked different. She worked hard to change this from inside the system. But the work was slow and sometimes difficult. As the officers followed her, Maya thought about how power could be used in many ways. True power came from respect, knowledge, and kindness, not from fear or force. She showed this every day through her actions. In a crowded cafe, Maya stopped briefly to drink some water. She noticed the officers enter behind her, but did not show fear. She smiled politely at the staff and customers. Knowing many watched the scene with curiosity, one officer approached her and said, "We need to talk." Maya replied calmly, "I am happy to talk, but let's do it with respect." The officers' faces were stern, but Maya's calm words made them hesitate. They were not used to being treated like equals by someone they had tried to intimidate. Took a deep breath and said, "I want you to understand who I am. I lead a team that protects people every day. We work with law enforcement all over the world to keep communities safe." The officers seemed surprised. They had no idea about Maya's role or the responsibility she carried. Maya continued, "We all want safety and peace. I believe respect and fairness are the way to get there." One officer nodded slowly as if he was hearing something new. Maya saw a moment of change. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. It was a message from her team. Something important was happening nearby, an urgent situation that needed her attention. She told the officers, "I must go now, but I hope you understand what I said." The officers watched as Maya quickly left. They were silent, thinking about the woman they had tried to control, but who had stayed strong and kind. Meanwhile, Maya's team was already moving. The task force had spotted signs of a dangerous plan that could hurt many people. They worked fast and smart, using technology and careful strategy. Maya joined the operation, leading her team with calm confidence. They communicated clearly and acted as one. The mission required courage and skill, but Maya's leadership made it possible. As the team worked, Maya thought about the officers who had stopped her. She hoped they would learn to see people beyond fear and prejudice. The mission ended successfully. The threat was stopped, and many lives were safe. Maya's team returned quietly, knowing their work was far from over. Afterwards, Maya reflected on the day. She felt proud, but also aware of the challenges still ahead. She believed in a world where respect would replace fear, and understanding would defeat prejudice. Maya's story showed that strength came not from force, but from courage, kindness, and wisdom. She was ready to lead the way, one step at a time. The day after the mission, Maya's team gathered quietly in their secure office. The air was calm, but full of focus. Every member of the task force knew their work was important, and they trusted Maya to lead them well. They discussed the details of the operation, what went right, and what could be improved. Maya listened carefully to each person's thoughts. She valued teamwork and knew that success came from learning together, while the team worked. News of the police officer's encounter with Maya had begun to spread quietly in the community. People were talking about the woman who had stood strong and calm when faced with unfair treatment. The story was inspiring many, showing that courage and respect could change difficult situations. Meanwhile, the officers who had stopped Maya were under review. Their supervisors had learned about how they handled the situation. The officers were asked to explain their actions. They realized that their behavior had caused discomfort and distrust. The department started to talk about the importance of fairness and understanding when dealing with people, no matter their background. Maya did not seek attention or praise for what had happened. She focused on her work and on making a difference every day. Still, her actions made a quiet impact. She showed the world that strength was not just physical, but also in the way a person treated others. At the task force headquarters, Maya spent time mentoring younger officers and specialists. She encouraged them to believe in themselves and to work hard. Maya knew that many of them faced challenges similar to hers, and she wanted to help open doors for the next generation. One afternoon, a group of young officers asked Maya about her journey. They wanted to know how she stayed strong in times of difficulty. Maya smiled and said, "The key is to believe in your purpose and to treat others with kindness even when it's hard. Respect is earned by giving it." Her words inspired the group. They left the meeting feeling hopeful and ready to work for a better future. Maya also worked closely with community leaders to build bridges between law enforcement and citizens. She believed that trust was the foundation of safety. Together, they organized events and programs to encourage open conversation and understanding. The police officers who had once stopped Maya began to change too. Some took part in training to understand bias and learn better communication skills. It was not an easy process, but small steps were made toward respect and fairness. Through it all, Maya stayed focused on her mission. She knew that true change took time and patience. She believed that each person could make a difference by acting with courage and heart. One evening, as Maya left the office, she looked up at the stars. She felt a quiet hope. The world was not perfect, but it was moving forward, and she would keep walking the path of leadership, showing others the power of strength and kindness. Her story was more than a single event. It was a journey toward justice, respect, and understanding. Maya's courage was a light for many who needed hope, and though the challenges remained, Maya knew she was not alone. Together with her team and her community, she was helping to build a better tomorrow. After the events of the past days, Maya felt a deep sense of responsibility. She knew that what had happened with the officers was not just about one moment on the street. It was a symbol of a bigger problem that many people faced every day. But Maya also knew that this moment was a chance to teach and to grow. She continued to lead her task force with dedication. Every mission, every decision was a step toward protecting communities and making the world safer. But Maya also worked hard to build understanding between law enforcement and the people they served. She believed that respect and kindness were the strongest tools for change. Her story began to inspire others. People in the community saw how Maya faced unfair treatment with calm and strength. They admired her courage and the way she stood for justice without anger or violence. Many started to speak up about their own experiences, feeling that change was possible. Maya helped organize meetings where people could share their stories and listen to each other. These gatherings were sometimes difficult, but they opened the door for real conversation. Maya believed that hearing and understanding different experiences was the first step toward healing. At the same time, Maya worked with police departments to improve training and encourage officers to see the humanity in everyone they met. She helped create programs that taught about bias, respect, and communication. The goal was clear: build trust and keep communities safe together. Through her work, Maya became a symbol of hope and change. She showed that one person's courage and leadership could influence many others. She did not seek fame or reward, but focused on making a difference every day. Maya also found strength in her own life outside of work. She spent time with family and friends who supported her. Their love and encouragement helped her stay strong through the challenges. She often thought about the young people who looked up to her. Maya wanted to be a role model, showing them that no matter where they came from or what challenges they faced, they could reach for their dreams and make the world better. Maya's journey was a reminder that change starts with each person. It takes courage to stand up against unfairness, patience to build understanding, kindness to heal wounds. The officers who once doubted her began to see her differently. Some apologized for their behavior and worked to learn and grow. It was a small but important step toward a better future. As the years passed, Maya's work continued. She helped shape policies, lead missions, and build connections. Her story became part of a larger movement for justice and equality. Looking back, Maya knew that the difficult moments had made her stronger. She understood that leadership was not about power, but about service. It was about lifting others up and working together for a world where everyone was treated with respect. Her life was proof that even in the face of prejudice and challenges, strength and kindness could change hearts and minds. And so, Maya walked forward, ready for whatever came next, knowing that her true power was in her courage, her compassion, and her belief in a better tomorrow.